In today's news, what more proof do you need to understand that USDT Tether is in serious trouble, and XRP and the new Ripple stablecoin, the RLUSD, the real USD, will cannibalize Tether? In this post from ISO 20022, he showcases proof that 10 exchanges operating in Europe alone could be fined €1 billion or more from June 30th onwards for failure to comply with MiCA regulations, which is absolutely insane. That's only 15 days away now. From Binance to Bitstamp, Coinbase, all the way down to OKX. And the common denominator, the breaching asset in all of these exchanges, is USDT Tether. You right now are in a very unique position. USDT evidently is destined to collapse. MiCA and regulations, they do not trust Tether, do not want Tether, and Ripple will be the ones to take their place. XRP is heavily undervalued, and as we can see and hear in this interview with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, XRP is in a unique position that the market hasn't rewarded yet. Pay attention.
I think it's strange to me that XRP is in such a unique position and that the market hasn't kind of rewarded that. XRP in the US is one of the few things we can say definitively is not a security. With ETH, I don't know how this is going to play out, right? Apparently Wells notices, which is the SEC kind of pre-warning that we're going to file a lawsuit, have been gone out to consensus, well, purportedly, as I've read, maybe on your side as well, to consensus. We know the Ethereum Foundation has received various inquiries. So look, it's super frustrating. And
this is very important, crucial even, for you to remember and for you to understand. More importantly, the market still is maturing, and as governments and financial institutions, the biggest ones in the world, the leaders of this world, start incorporating this technology, Ripple's technology, jumping onto the XRP ledger, XRP's price will soon start to reflect its true value. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde recently admitted in this interview that without CBDCs, central banks risk becoming obsolete and therefore they are useless. Listen closely.
There is clearly an aspiration, a desire for digital payments, much more so than it was in the past, and this is growing. We are now, in the surveys that we've conducted across the 19 members of the euro area, we have more than 50% of the respondents who say we want digital payments. Well, less use of cash, demand for secure and riskless payments. Where do we stand? We central bankers, we have been operating as a monetary anchor in relation to the commercial banks and the private money. If we are not in that game, if we are not involved in experimenting, in innovating in terms of digital central bank money, we risk losing the role of anchor that we have played for many, many decades. And we have historical examples of period where the central bank monetary anchor was not there, and that precipitated crisis after crisis. That certainly was the case at the time of the free banking in the 19th century. Do we want to go back to those days? Probably not. I would say certainly not from our vantage point, as a result of which we have to respond to the demand for those digital payments in order to maintain the role of anchor that we have been playing regularly.
Now, CBDCs, as worrying as this new form of government surveillance is, because that's really all they are, they control your money more so, CBDCs though are inevitable. And Ripple, as we can see, are deeply connected, ingrained into the development of these CBDCs all around the world. Ripple's CBDC platform, or a Ripple designed CBDC, can provide a means to bridge disparate currencies through XRP. Its inherent interoperability can allow for connections to other central bank ledgers for efficient cross-asset and cross-border transactions. Furthermore, as we can see in this article from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF being the source, regarding the Middle East and North African regions being MENA, Oil Exporters and Gulf Cooperation Council, or the GCC countries, it talks about actively researching CBDCs and a potential use case since 2020 and officially launching a limited access pilot with Ripple through their cbdc platform. And to showcase to you just how big this news is, look here at how many countries have participated in this survey. How many countries therefore are there connected to Ripple through the use of these new CBDCs? This is absolutely insane. And further adding more evidence to the fact that Ripple is going to cannibalize USDT Tether. And that is largely thanks to the new coming MiCA regulation, which is taking place in Europe, keep in mind. Then the European Central Bank President, Christine Lagarde, admitted that without CBDCs, central banks will collapse and become obsolete, and Ripple, as I just showed you, is the foundation, the key piece for CBDCs all across the world. Ripple's new stablecoin, the RLUSD, will attract more use cases onto the XRP ledger, as David Schwartz recently admitted, bringing more liquidity to XRP. Christine Lagarde understands that she must do. She's one of the leaders of this world. She understands how pivotal Ripple and XRP is to this new monetary system. And without them taking over, without them cannibalizing Tether and XRP becoming the bridge asset for CBDCs worldwide, central banks will collapse. They will become obsolete. And that's the best part about all of this. As we can hear in this video, Ripple has a monopoly on the payment space. XRP is the secret sauce, and there's a reason why XRP is the only digital asset with clarity. Pay attention.
The Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operate within an appropriate federal prudential oversight framework.
But when are you going to move into stablecoins?
Yes.
When?
Yes. Look, I think the stablecoin market is fascinating. Will we do or say more than that? Not today.
The Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operate within an appropriate federal prudential oversight framework.
The potentially fast and wide adoption of a global stablecoin, potentially a global currency governed only by the incentives of a private company, is something that will deserve and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations.
So they do not threaten financial stability or payment system integrity. We have also provided guidance to the banks that we supervise on how they should engage with their supervisors when considering use of these products.
You know, being a highly regulated institution that we are, like, we can't touch crypto or stable coins or anything like that. You know,
in terms of central bank digital currencies, we continue to speak to a broad range of stakeholders. Our research is currently focused on end-to-end system architecture, such as how ledgers that record ownership of and transactions in digital assets.
We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Are maintained, secured, and verified, as well as tokenization.
We must consider whether our understanding and computation of traditional monetary and liquidity indicators need to be re-evaluated considering new types of payments through cooperation across borders, industries, and professions, so we can develop a comprehensive and consistent approach of measuring these new payment methods.
The connections Ripple has is deeper than you could possibly imagine. Pretty much everything all over the world is connected to Ripple one way or the other, like the BRICS alliances, which is constantly growing more and more. I've made numerous videos in the past few days or weeks talking about the BRICS alliance with Ripple and XRP. And as we can see here from Chad Steingrapper, the agreement will see the BRICS alliance completely ditch the dollar as a trade currency. Alternatively, they'll rely on local currency settlement to fuel a greater shift in global finance. Not only will this new change affect all 9 alliance members, but 6 additional countries as well. As recently, over $70 billion in trade will no longer be settled in USD dollars, but in local currencies within the BRICS nations. And this is going to be massive for shifting the power of the Western world for de-dollarization and therefore increasing the power of Ripple with XRP. XRP, yes, right now may only be worth 47, 48, 50 cents. But just you wait until its true value is unlocked. As Marcus Infranga states perfectly in this video, people tend to overestimate these things in the short term. People see XRP at 50 cents and think it's not going to do anything, but they underestimate it in the long term. Long-term XRP will be worth in the thousands. Listen closely.
I would say, the recognition is no longer niche. The liquidity is still niche. And, there's a couple of outlined reasons for that: regulatory, compatibility, user protection in general, usability. Some of these like DeFi protocol, they're quite clunky. And some of these blockchain networks are also fragmented, right? Like there's a lot of interoperability being built, and I believe, there will be more interoperability possible through the open sourceness, programmability of these protocols as opposed to TradFi. And so that's definitely, we're at the very early innings, so to speak. So I would say like we're seeing growth. If you look at the stablecoin as a financial instrument, for example, 3 years ago, the total market cap was around 5 billion. Now it's like 150 billion. And people tend to overestimate these kind of dynamics, maybe, in the short term, but then underestimate it in the long term.
And this is precisely what I keep reiterating to you. Don't look short term. You've got to think long term. And I'll see you in the next one.